So today I will look at a virtually perfect conversion of a board game classic, Hero Quest. It was the time before Christmas in 1989, and I saw this commercial.
Hero Quest. Deep inside another dimension, face battling barbarians and evil magic on a quest for adventure in a maze of monsters. This is Hero Quest, the fantasy adventure game where winning means mastering the arts of combat.
I'll use my broadsword.
And magic.
Fire of Wrath.
Once you get into it, you'll never be the same. Hero Quest. Now with 2 new adventure packs, the legend grows.
Holy cow! This Hero Quest must be the coolest board game ever. I wanted it so much. But how does that old saying go? Be careful what you wish for. That Christmas I got Hero Quest. The problem was, nobody wanted to play with me, because it was apparently too complicated. And nobody wanted to play the part of the evil witchlord anyway, who is basically the game master and has to play all the monsters. So while my siblings played with their new toys, I was stuck reading the rulebook of Hero Quest. What a sad Christmas. So the game began collecting dust. But then, in 1991, my uncle called. He was a PC user and told me that he accidentally bought an Amiga game and thought I could have it. And that game was the Amiga conversion of Hero Quest. At last, I could play Hero Quest. The game opens with a rather well-made introduction sequence that tells the story in nice, partly animated pictures and text boxes. It tells the story of Morcar, a wizard who wanted too much power too quickly and became evil. Mentor, a good wizard, sends you to a quest to defeat the witchlord, but first you have to escape the maze to prove that you're worthy. Before the game begins, you have the option to choose your character. You can either be a barbarian, elf, dwarf, or wizard. And each of these characters have their own strengths and weaknesses. For example, the barbarian is the strongest but cannot use spells. If you would have collected some gold, you would now be able to spend it for better weapons and other goodies, but since this is a new game, there is nothing else to do than begin the adventure. Like in its board game incarnation, Hero Quest is turn-based. At the beginning of each turn, the computer automatically rolls the dice for you, represented by this spinning coin. You then have the option of either walk the amount of tiles you have rolled, or search the room for hidden doors or treasures. Searching doesn't cost movement points, however, so there is no reason not to search a room. The problem is that you usually need to waste at least 1 turn in each room, as most of the time you will want to look for both treasure and hidden passages. In fact, finding hidden passages is almost always necessary to finish a dungeon. Why does searching the room exclude either treasure or hidden passages? I really don't understand this. Does my character think, I'm looking for a hidden door, but all I find is this lousy chest here. Bummer. And next turn he's like, oh wow, look at this, I found a treasure chest. It doesn't make sense. The gameplay could have been a lot smoother with just a few adjustments. Speaking of gameplay, the thing with rolling your dice to get your available movement points is also something that makes the game more tedious than necessary. It just doesn't make sense. Why is luck involved in how far I can move? Why is it that 1 minute I can walk 12 tiles and then suddenly only 2? Am I tired? Is my shoelace untied? Is the heel of my boot stuck in a crack? It just doesn't make sense. It slows the game down and is just plain boring. Why can't each character have a different amount of movement points? The elf could be the quickest with 12, and the dwarf with his little legs perhaps could only have 8 or so. Additionally, searching a room could cost 5 points, and attack maybe 3. I believe the game could have been improved a lot for this digital incarnation. Additionally, movement itself is not very comfortable. The game doesn't mark the tiles you can move on, and clicking on one outside of your movement radius doesn't do anything. This means you have to count the tiles you can move yourself, which is especially annoying when the screen flips over to the next room, as there is no scrolling. When fighting, the computer rolls all attack and defense dice, so there is absolutely nothing you can do except clicking on the monster you want to attack, which, interestingly, is not done in the main game window, but on the separate map screen. Graphically, there is not much to complain. The introduction pictures are beautiful, the menus equally nice to look at, and while the main game window is a little bit small, the whole presentation is very well done, with a great color scheme and nice, if few, animations. The music is simply wonderful. It has a great theme and a beautiful mod rendition. Let's compare this to the PC version of HeroQuest, which is, in essence, exactly the same game. In fact, the graphics of the introduction sequence are exactly the ones from the Amiga version. However, on the PC, the fade-in and fade-out effect is strangely very slow. And, well, the ad-lib rendition of the HeroQuest theme just doesn't sound as good as on the Amiga. The graphics of the main game have been updated to a 256 color VGA palette, but in truth, I don't think that this has been an improvement. The game looks cartoony and clean, and in my opinion, it has lost a lot of the atmosphere that was present on the Amiga. So as I see it, the Amiga version is superior to the PC version. But is it a good game? Well, I really can't speak for the board game, as to this day I was never able to play it. Maybe that is fun with a few good friends, I don't know. But I do know that converting the board game at its face value into a computer game without adjusting it didn't work. It's a perfect adaptation, but that's exactly what ultimately made HeroQuest tedious and, well, just boring. There are just so many other turn-based role-playing games, there's really no need to play this. So, if you want to play it, play the board game, fetch a few friends, and make a nice evening of it. But, really, this game, it's really a shame.